So have you ever stood in front of a mirror saying, I'm wealthy, while your bank account has like $47 in it? You felt stupid. And that's because your brain has a built-in BS detector and it just called you out. So here's the thing, affirmations, they actually do work, but 97% of the people are doing them in a way that actually makes their brain reject the very thing they're trying to manifest. So in this video, I'm going to show you why your affirmations aren't working as well as they could, the neuroscience behind what actually does work, and how I use this method to manifest my dream house, my dream car back in the day. I moved across the country to my dream city at the time, found my best friends, and found my relationship, my wife, and increased my income significantly for like 6 years. But most importantly, and what's always meant the most to me is I've healed and grown, and I'm much happier with what I'm about to share with you. Okay. So let's fix why affirmations haven't worked for you and make them work much better than they have in the past, right? That's what I was after. Look, I've been where you are. And in my 20s, I read this book that had me stand in front of a mirror and say, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. 60 times, morning and night. Not a bad idea, right? About 2 weeks, I felt something, but eventually it got stale. It got weird and boring. And yep, I eventually ended up quitting. I tried writing my own affirmations. I've tried different techniques, but they all felt like I was reading someone else's script for someone else's life. It just felt weird, right? And here's what I realized. The problem wasn't affirmations, so to speak. The problem was how I was doing them. Because once I discovered the right method, personalized affirmation through meditations, everything actually started changing for me. I started getting the results and seeing, what I always wanted. Like I said, I started manifesting things I always dreamed about, like my dream house in San Diego when I lived there. I became a top sales performer at all the companies I was at. For 6 years straight, I significantly increased my income, from the prior year. And that's why I ended up building Guyde to help people create a form of delivering affirmations that actually will work for you. Not generic lines you repeat until you're numb and you're ready to give up. Custom meditations designed for your specific goals and your specific blocks to overcome them and achieve what you know deep down is possible. And here's what the self-help industry has been selling you, at least for me. Like, just repeat, I'm a millionaire 500 times and the universe will deliver. Fake it till you make it. Say it with conviction and it'll manifest. Okay. There's some truth in all those things, but here's the real truth. They're not telling you. Your brain rejects affirmations that contradict your current reality. If it's nowhere near it, it's going to reject it. And when you fake it, you're creating something called cognitive dissonance, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain knows you're lying to yourself. And that's why generic affirmations fail. That's why they do for other people. That's why it did for me. I knew something was missing. And that's what we're going to fix right now. So here's what I'm going to show you: why your brain rejects affirmations and the neuroscience behind it. So we can, see what's going on. And then the 3-part formula that makes affirmations actually work, and how to create personalized affirmations that feel like they were written by you and for you. And I want to start with, why your brain is rejecting these affirmations. You need to understand this. All right. Imagine you're trying to plant a garden. You've got seeds, good seeds, but instead of planting them in soil, you're just throwing them onto the concrete, right? Just hoping they grow. And no matter how many times you throw those seeds, they're not going to grow. We all know that because there's no soil, there's no water, there's no sunlight, concrete, right? And quite frankly, it's kind of what generic affirmations are like. You're saying, I'm wealthy, but your brain is standing on the concrete of your current reality. It doesn't work. You got $47 in your bank account. Your bills are piling up, stress about money. Saying those things has nothing. The affirmation has nowhere to root. So your brain, it rejects it, right? So let me show you exactly how this works. It's kind of like a BS detector. Your brain has something called a reticular activating system, RAS. And it's basically a filter that decides what's true and what's not based on your past experiences. Your brain looks for what it wants to see based on the past and what it thinks to be true. And when you say, I'm a millionaire, or things like that, and you're actually broke, your reticular activating system immediately goes, no, you're not. You have $47. Stop lying, bro. Right. And it rejects the affirmation because it doesn't believe it. Like that's common sense. It's like telling yourself you're a marathon runner when you can't even run a mile. Your brain knows the truth and it calls you out every single time you do that. It's a vibrational mismatch. But here's the even deeper problem that you really need to understand. Manifestation, it doesn't work through words alone. It works through the combination of thoughts and feelings and beliefs. And I know you've heard this, but when those three things actually align, when you have what I call a vibrational match, that is when transformation happens. That's when all those things started coming alive for me. Well, most people are just saying words with no feeling behind them, no belief, no energy. So even if you repeat, I'm confident 1,000 times, you don't really feel confident. Nothing much changes, maybe a little bit, but not that, what you're looking for. So your words say one thing, your energy says another, and your brain picks up on that mismatch immediately. I know we've all felt it. And here's another way to think about it. And I've said this before. Your brain is like a trail in a forest, and you walk through the trail of I'm not good enough, or money is hard to make, or, it's just hard, right? That trail is a well-worn path. It's automatic. It's your default path. And now you're actually trying to create a new trail by saying, I'm abundant, just a few times, but you're not actually walking the new trail. You're just saying the words while still walking the old one. Your brain knows, and it just rejects the affirmation. So here's what happens. You try affirmations for maybe a week or two. This was me. Maybe you feel a little bit better, but then it gets stale and you stop doing it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, affirmations don't work. Nothing changed. That's because the affirmation wasn't believable, wasn't specific, and wasn't backed by emotion. So how do you fix this? That's the big question, right? You need what I call something like the bridge method. And think of it like this. You're standing on one side of a canyon. That is your current reality. And on the other side of the canyon is your goal, your dream, like what you really want. And generic affirmations are like trying to jump across that canyon in one leap. It's like, well, from here over to there. Okay. And your brain goes, that's impossible. We're going to die. Okay. That's an extreme example, but the bridge method builds a bridge step by step that your brain can actually believe and walk across. Right. And here's how it works. Step one, acknowledge where you are right now. Like, don't lie to your brain. Start with the truth, right? So instead of I'm a millionaire, start with I've made money before. I'm making more money. I've closed deals before. I know it's possible to earn more, whatever it looks like for you. That's believable. Your brain can accept that. Step two, find evidence. It's possible, right? Your brain needs proof. So give it proof from your own life. For me, when I wanted to make more money, I realized I've closed deals before without killing myself. I've made money when I was in flow, not grinding. So it is possible to make more money with less effort. Like that's the bridge. You see how I took some evidence and realized what was happening to me. And that's what makes the new belief believable. Step three, create a vivid emotional visualization. This is where like the magic happens. Don't just say the words, see it, feel it, make it real in your mind. And when I wanted to move to San Diego, I didn't just say, I live in San Diego. I visualized jogging downtown. I saw where I'd have fun with my wife, where I'd go out to eat, where I wanted to live. I pictured what my kids would do. When I did my dream house, I remember going up on this top hill and saying, I want to live here. And this is the house. And I lived in that house a few years later. I smelled it all. I saw it. I made it so vivid that my brain started to believe it was already happening. And it did. Step four, put it into a guided meditation. This is the key that most people miss. You can't just say affirmations while you're stressed, distracted, or multitasking. You need to get into a meditative state where your brain shifts from beta, active thinking, to alpha or theta, receptive thinking. And it's creative and it's almost subconscious. In that state, your subconscious mind is open. It's not fighting you, listening. And that's when you combine the affirmation with the visualization and the emotion. That when the vibrational match happens. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs align, and your brain starts to accept the new reality. So, step 5, evolve it over time. And here's what most people don't do. They say the same affirmation for 21 days and wonder why it gets stale. But you can do that. I just feel like it doesn't work that well. Your brain needs novelty, it needs progression. So instead of repeating the same thing, you evolve the meditation, you add new details, you go deeper, you expand the vision. And that's how you keep your brain engaged with some creativity, with something different. That's how you create lasting change. Now, let me give you my real life example of how this worked. Years ago, I was stuck at a certain income level. Okay? And every time I wanted to make more money, I'd think something limiting, like I'm going to have to, work even harder, or I'm already maxed out, or I don't know how, I can do that. And that was my limiting belief, right? That more money equals more work. So I started doing affirmation meditations using like the bridge method. I didn't say I'm a millionaire. Okay? That felt like a lie. Felt like a different side of the canyon, right? And instead I said, this year I'm making over 100,000. I see myself hitting that goal. I feel what it's like to have that income. I trust that opportunities are coming to me, right? And here's the thing. I didn't just say it, I visualized it. What would my life look like at 100,000? How would I feel? How would I, what would I do differently? And I made it extremely vivid, and I made it emotional. I made it real in my mind. Year after year, I hit those goals. And for 6 years straight, I significantly increased my income, anywhere from about 20 to 50% every single year. But my best success story is this. I kind of said it to you earlier, but I wanted to move from Indianapolis to San Diego. My kids were young. I didn't have my money. It was crazy to move across the country. It seemed impossible. So I created a personalized affirmation meditation. I didn't know, a lot of this back then, but I started using, it was back then, it was Wayne Dyer's morning and evening guided meditation CD. You might have done it. But every morning I'd visualize jogging downtown San Diego. I'd see where I go with my wife, what my kids would do. I felt the sun, I smelled the ocean. And I didn't just say the same thing every day. I kept evolving it, adding more details to make it more vivid. And it was actually fun. And guess what? Within a year, I was living in San Diego, and I did the same thing for my dream house in San Diego. That's the power of the bridge method. When you combine specificity, emotion, and evolution, you create a vibrational match. And that's when things manifest. So let me show you how this works in Guyde. If you're like, how can I apply this? What does this look like? So let's say your goal is to make, let's say $10,000 a month or whatever it is for you on anything. First, you go to my Guyde page and type out what you really want, why, what it would be like. Give it information, right? You might have been stuck at 5,000 a month. I keep thinking I need to work harder, but I'm already burned out. Some more details than guides. AI reads what you shared as a shift or new awareness, increase the next meditation in the series, and evolves with you going deeper and getting more advanced and shifting your mind. It evolves with you from what you initially did. It's different every day. It acknowledges where you are. It finds evidence from your own life that it's possible. It guides you through a vivid visualization of making 10,000 a month with ease, if that is what you inputted as the belief and reality you're wanting to create, right? So you choose your voice, your background music, you want that, and you will listen. And then the next day, Guyde evolves the meditation. It takes you deeper. It builds on what you did yesterday and what, shifts and what you journaled. And by day 25, you walk across the bridge. You cross the canyon, hopefully, depending on, what that looks like. And your brain believes it's possible. And you're already seeing opportunities you couldn't see before. That's how it works. It's personalized, evolving, powerful. So what happens when you do affirmations correctly? You start feeling different, right? You become aware of how you used to think. And you realize, wow, I don't even feel that way anymore. I don't think that way anymore. I don't believe that old thing. Your belief shift. And when your belief shift, your life shifts. You manifest faster. You have more confidence, more clarity. And, all of that adds up. And how long does this take? I agree with Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm a big fan of his over the years. The 21 days is significant. But here's the thing. You can't just say the same affirmations for 21 days and expect massive change. Like, you probably will get some change. But that's why, Guyde evolves you in the meditation with you. each day takes you to the next level. So instead of getting stale, you're advancing, and it's fun. It's like, what's going to be tomorrow? So here's what I want you to do. If this sounds up your alley, go to Guyde.io, Guyde.io. Try it, get it free for 7 days, create your first affirmation, meditation, journal about your goal or something you're struggling with and you want to overcome, or something you want to manifest. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. And then let the AI create a custom meditation for you. Listen to it every morning. Click the button to create the next meditation. It just goes into the series. Pretty cool. Let it evolve with you. Watch what happens. And the link's in the description, Guyde.io. Let me know in the comments, what's been your experience with affirmations? Have you had good experiences with it? What about meditations? Have they worked for you? Have you combined them? What would you change? Drop it below. I read every comment. And here's the truth. Affirmations work, but only when they're personalized and, backed by emotion and aligned with your beliefs. And if your belief is out of alignment, your mind needs to change the belief. Generic affirmations are seeds on concrete. They have nowhere to root, right? It makes all the sense in the world. But when you use the bridge method, when you create affirmations that are specific to your life and you feel them in your meditation and you let them evolve with you, that's when everything changes. That's when you manifest your goals. That's when beliefs shift. That's when your life transforms. Go to Guyde.io, create your personalized affirmation meditation, and start to witness for yourself and feel the changes for yourself. It's been pretty cool, darn cool for me. That's why I created this. That's why I'm sharing it. Thank you for watching. Please, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, share this with someone with a benefit. Could likely mean a great deal to them, and you'll have someone you can share your thoughts with and maybe discuss your experiences. So thanks again. I'll see you in the next video, and much love.